Looking back on it now that it's over, why was this election so important to you?
Well, I was brought up to believe certain things about this country and really a vision of what the country is supposed to be. And I felt that the Trump philosophy is really a threat to those things. So I was trying to do the best I could, along with a lot of friends and colleagues and other people who feel the same way, to prevent that. Unfortunately, we weren't successful. It causes anxiety for me, concern for me about my kids, my hypothetical future grandkids, and for myself, it's disturbing.
And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much. I don't mind.
I mean, you laugh at it. That's how dictators talk. That is how dictators talk.
We caught it with 2,600 votes. Lancaster County today updating its investment.
President Biden won the state of Pennsylvania by 82,000 votes in 2020. 82,000 votes. And when you're looking at deficits, that's
Oh my God, you are a liar.
crisscross across the battleground states.
You are a liar. The early vote is down because it's not a pandemic anymore, you goddamn moron, and you know that because you're not actually a moron. So you know that what you're saying right now is false.
Not to say that this is in the bag, if you will, for the former president, but what it does suggest is that there's...
Sure, Michael, you're going to need to get a real job on Wednesday. It's not a lie. It's just so divorced from the context that you need that you can't understand. It means the opposite of what it really means. He's saying that Harris is going to lose Pennsylvania because a lot fewer women have voted in Pennsylvania, and a lot fewer people in Philadelphia have voted at this time than had voted at this time in 2020, meaning by early vote. But it's a ridiculous comparison. Many people who voted in 2020 by mail are going to go out and vote on election day this time because it's no longer a pandemic. People were afraid to go out. They were allowed to vote by mail, so they did. It means nothing about what he's trying to pretend that it means. It's pure spin.
160,000 in the state who cast a ballot for Nikki Haley in the GOP primary.
The only way to purge the Republican Party of Trumpism is for Trump to lose this election.
Harris ends her night and her campaigning right here in Philly with a concert featuring Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin.
Seriously, they filmed for an hour.
An iconic landmark.
That's okay though.
Steps at the Museum of Art,
okay.
also known as the...
He does this a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. Wearing pants.
I didn't even notice that. I might braid my...
We live in an age of illusion.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm saying I said you should get there at 8:30 in order to vote by 9.
Oh. So I should get up at 8 and leave at like 8:15?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to stand in line with bad breath. I mean, okay, we're not going to talk anymore because we're going to do this.
Good night.
Good evening.
Hi, Craig. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm just like settling my own, because I'm also in the
Nope.
hotel room. I'm settling my.
No problem. Are you in New York?
Yeah. Where are you, in Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia, yes.
Okay. Just give me a minute. I think.
can start me recording both of you. Okay.
1, 2, 3, start. Now, your focus group, Haley for Harris, is confident of swaying the election. Why so?
Well, there are enough people who voted for Republicans who voted for Nikki Haley in the primaries to determine the outcome in the swing states here in this election that we're going to be finalizing tomorrow. Many of the states, including my state of Pennsylvania, were decided by small margins, both in 2016 and in 2020. And the number of people who voted for Governor Haley in the primaries is larger than those differences. So if even a third of the Haley voters in Pennsylvania vote for the vice president, she's going to win this state and she's going to win the country.
I want to ask you, are you confident that Kamala Harris will retain the traditional Democratic states of Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan? At the same time, will she be able to flip the Sunbelt states?
I try to stay out of the prediction business and stay in the persuasion business. But I am confident that the vice president is going to win and that she's going to have more than the 270 electoral votes that she needs to do that.
Okay, I think that went well. Could I just make a quick call to you right now?
Sure.
Okay, I'll just make a quick call. Thanks.
Okay.
Are there places obviously Pennsylvania, that a probabilistic tie doesn't mean a tying result, right? So 50-50 in the polls does not mean it's going to come down to like this is a problem with election day. It's like you're stuck with these platitudes because you don't know anything or all this, and we start diving into the data and what was it Friedrich Nietzsche said? He doesn't like to
Dad,
people. I get it.
how are you feeling right now?
Politics is about addition, not subtraction. There are substantial
Calm
Republican
and collected.
voters out there who really
Why?
like Nikki Haley and her style of
Because we just
politics.
gotta wait.
They're smart to you.
Let's see the sticker.
So we're walking over to a polling place where supposedly one of the Forward Party's national staff will be doing some poll watching for our candidates, but he's coming from out of town, so I'm not sure if he'll be there, but we're gonna go give it a try.
I told her that.
That is so amazing.
She was in Reading.
I know. It's so amazing. Like presidential candidates obviously don't actually do that. I can't imagine that it was totally real. I mean, in other words, that it was a random door.
Well, I saw they had like whole lighting crew set up in the front
Yeah,
yard,
exactly.
so I was like,
Exactly.
They had to have a little
They
bit.
had to know. Okay.
Are we bringing that to the car?
Have you voted? Not since '76. Yeah, the Carter election. Okay. So this one's important. Get out there.
He didn't vote.
He didn't vote. Not since '76. I also want you to actually listen to this because this is about my book.
When did you do this?
About a week ago.
It's a podcast or like?
It's a podcast, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to the Author Show.
Hello and welcome back to the show. This is your host, Don McCauley. Today we're welcoming to the program author Craig Snyder, and he is the author of Guile. Before I bring in today's guest, a quick reminder that selected interviews are available.
Actually, you're going to film this? I want the book in the shot.
Okay.
No, but you won't see it if like you won't really see it. How should we do this?
Well, I got a shot of the book earlier. I can move back. You want me to move back?
Yeah, book on that side.
Tell us about your book.
Guile is the story of an American presidential campaign. It is inspired by the historic events of 2016 more than anything else. Sort of the question of how could a very unconventional populist candidate get nominated by the Republican Party and then go on to win the presidency? And really, most importantly, I think, is what goes on behind the scenes in the inner world of the lobbyists and political consultants who are very, very important to our election process, but really get very little attention and very little scrutiny by the country as a whole.
Well, this has been just great. Our guest today has been Craig Snyder, and he's the author of Guile. Craig, thanks very much for being with us today.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to The Author Show. Find out more about authors and their work at theauthorshow.com.
There you go.
Bravo.
Came out really well, I think.
Yeah.
They edited it.
I liked it.
Excellent.
And it was long. It was like really in depth.
It's a show. Yeah, I mean it's not just like, you know, a segment. It's a whole show devoted to the book, which is great. Hopefully people will go out and buy it.
Do you like hate listening to yourself in recordings, or have you gotten used to it?
I've gotten used to it. I don't love it. I don't think anybody loves it, but I don't hate it. I'm used to it.
Why?
Because we are rising up together.
Oh, I was thinking when we all die.
If Donald went.
Well, we are either rising up or we are dying, and in either case,
We watched
heaven
a cop
is appropriate.
over here. We watched a cop backing out of Alfred Alley, and he ran into that brick wall yesterday.
Not gonna do your drum solo anymore?
I have no idea what you're referring to. I am a serious political official. So this picture was taken 34 years ago last night. This is Eric and me and a friend named Karen Chiswick, who has very sadly since passed away. And we were planning out going to polling places for my election, running for the State House in Pennsylvania. And now, 34 years later, I'm working on his election.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool? Film crew.
Okay, oh, excellent.
Documentary film and project.
Eric Settle. How are you?
I gotta get one of those shirts.
Well, I can give you the other one. There's two. There's actually 4 in existence.
Okay.
Limited edition.
But I'll give you the other one.
How you doing? Good to see
Alex.
you.
The Adam will be here in a second.
Okay. We have the Attorney General candidate of the Forward Party and his one son, soon to be joined by his other son.
Hello.
Sorry. So Mary Isaacson's here, Lynn Abraham's here,
Chris Desi's here.
Okay, everybody,
All right.
Hi, my name is Lynn Abraham. I'm the former district attorney of Philadelphia and a former judge of the Court of Common Pleas. I was one of the young assistant DAs who worked for Arlen Specter. Arlen gave me a job in the DA's office via Dick Sprague, where I spent in total 27 years, which I loved. I loved the DA's office. And I knew your father through politics in the city, and especially through Arlen. I'm very happy to know him, and I'm glad he has a wonderful daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Following in his steps insofar as you're trying to document history.
I'm State Representative Mary Isaacson, and I run around in political circles with your father.
Gentlemen, I guess they
Let you guys set up and...
Thank you. It's actually interesting because I realize that my standard for libel has switched.
Yes.
That
yes,
you now
yes. Now
actual malice.
Actual malice. Somebody has to intend to destroy you in order for you to get any damage.
I must tell you, it has been.
I mean, the hats.
Right.
Do you understand why the hat is purple?
No.
Okay. Because red versus blue, right? So this is a new party, the third party that's trying to bridge the gap, right? And give people another alternative. That's called purple.
And it stands out because, like, for example, today I was, putting lawn signs at different polling places, and, the purple stands out from everybody else. The red signs and the blue signs.
It's almost, it's almost clear that anybody who supports Forward would not vote for Trump, but it's not an official position of the party. We're working on these more local races because that's how you build. You build from the bottom up.
Can you explain why you don't have someone running for president?
Because the only impact that somebody running for president as a third-party candidate this year would be to take votes away from Harris and make it more likely that Trump would win. That would be the effect of a candidate. And there are some, including Jill Stein, who may do that. I mean, we may wake up tomorrow and find out that Trump won Michigan because Jill Stein got enough votes to make that happen, and that would be a terrible thing. So we didn't want to be in that position, and we decided to build from the bottom up because that's really just the way it should be done.
Is I got left out of stuff. So, like the major debate, like the big TV debates, they just wouldn't invite me because their feeling was, look, we invite you, we have to invite these other people.
Right.
But Larry made the decision that I was legitimate enough and qualified enough to include me, and he said this in this article that the reason we included him is because we think he is as qualified or maybe more qualified than the two major candidates. But then he talked about this event they invited me to where each of us separately were interviewed by a panel. And so at the end, we were doing it in Pittsburgh. So at the end, we just said goodbye to the audience. But in Philadelphia, they had like a watch party. And so when it was over, apparently they took a show of hands and said, so who do you think won the debate?
Yeah.
And almost everyone raised their hand for me, which was incredibly cool because I thought I was good. But it's, what it is? It's that it's lonely. It's lonely in third party land.
Yeah.
So anytime you can have someone say, that's an important, a meaningful person. You should hear from them and learn from them. That means a lot.
We have an omelet with American cheese and salami. Potato pancake also, sour cream, please. I'll have a Coke to drink, or Pepsi.
I have a water.
A bunch of signs out in Chester County. Anybody want a beverage?
Yeah, can I get Dr. Brown's? This one volunteer, okay?
Yeah.
Who is a retired PICO engineer, personally gathered 500 signatures,
Right.
Okay,
Right.
And then took literally hundreds of palm cards, distributed them, made more, and I sent him another 500 that he got yesterday.
Seriously speaking, when we watch the county results,
we have to look because that guy. I mean, and I just when I've talked to him, he's like into it.
Yeah.
He's a believer.
Yeah.
So if we had maybe 10 more of those,
I know.
but he was amazing. Just an amazing commitment to a cause.
Yeah.
and it was. I mean, oh my God, like
Fantastic.
it was great.
Yeah, and even just a few people like that make you feel like it's worth it. You know.
What did you order?
A salami and cheese omelet.
I had the lunch of champions, hot pastrami.
Hot corned beef. I also got hot corned beef, and he's mad that I didn't get pastrami to share with him.
There's drama.
The appetizers tonight will be, well, I have to make it bigger. Potato croquettes, bruschetta, that may work for you. Italian meatballs, that will decidedly not work for you. Crispy Brussels sprouts, probably works.
Could work.
Chicken kebabs, doesn't work. Caesar salad, rotini and tomato. A za'atar flat iron steak. Mom's upset, she doesn't like za'atar. Chicken parmesan, and then s'mores blondie. That is the menu for tonight. Look, Trump good. I like Trump. Because he might be elected president in about 12 hours, and I have to live in this country for the next 20 or 30 years. No, what I was saying, and I do feel it, is that, you know, people, in order to be our president, you have to have a set of moral code that's a moral code. And it's not about policy positions, about are you a good person or not a good person. And he's shown himself not to be a good person. So my hope is America did what they did 4 years ago and said, you know, we're not going there. Or as Kamala puts it, we're not going back.
So, you know, anyway, that's good news.
What's your good news, Dad?
You can never know.
Philadelphia turnout appears to be very high, which is necessary for the vice president to win the state.
How you feeling?
Cautiously optimistic.
I want you to tell us a little bit about the outfit.
There's nothing to tell.
It looks good.
Thank you. Thank you. Red, white, and blue ensemble for this important evening.
Why do you keep one button unbuttoned?
It's the way you're supposed to wear it. It's the style.
How would I know that?
You wouldn't. You asked, I answered. Matt is our comms guy. He's our media guy. He does a million other things, but he does our media stuff. Exactly. She's a filmmaker, and she's making a documentary. So.
What was good, and what I said is that we made friends with the Democratic people who were there, and so they say President, Senate, Congress. Christy Whitman, the former governor of New Jersey, and here one of the co-founders of Forward Party.
How do you know my dad?
Well, he's a consultant that works with us in the Forward Party in Pennsylvania, and I'm on the executive board of the Pennsylvania Forward Party.
Thank you.
Jack is also now a television commercial star, and many other things.
I dabble.
I'm Andrew Yang. I'm the co-chair of the Forward Party, and I've been working with Craig for years, helping to get Forward Pennsylvania to a point where we have statewide candidates and are doing incredible things. So couldn't have done it without Craig. What a guy, what a pro. And he's doing it for the same reason that we're all here, is just he thinks the country could use a movement like this.
You want to do that? You want to get food?
Yeah.
But how are you going to do that while you're holding that?
We'll set it down somewhere.
Can I give a speech?
I'm not going to give a speech. Other people are. I'm not going to give.
Our Pennsylvania volunteers are just extraordinary, and what they have built in support of our statewide candidates, Eric Settle and Chris Foster is pretty tremendous. So we are here tonight to celebrate a lot of accomplishments. To lead with a shared sense of value, to uphold shared principles.
I just want to give a shout out to my wife Evelyn, who's here tonight. Where are you, baby? Where is she? Where is Evelyn? Boys. We did come together those 2+ years ago, and Lindsay joined shortly thereafter as CEO. And I want to give credit to Lindsay for her leadership. She was a senior operative of the Republican Party up until 2016, and then decided, hey, the party of Trump is not my party, and decided to step away to see if she could help improve democracy. And here she is, let's call it 8 years later, the CEO of the third biggest political party in the country by resources. Let's give Lindsay a round of applause. Well, I will be the first to admit there's something of a drop-off between number 2 and number 3. But hey, number 3 with a bullet, we'll take it. Right. We passed those greens. And one of the things I do say to folks is that everyone who's aligned with the Forward Party is here for the best of reasons, because there's no bad reason to be here. The Forward Party's candidate for Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the man who's written history, Eric Sellett.
Thanks, Andrew. Andrew realizes that after several weeks of running very hard that my voice is starting to fade. So we hang out for another couple hours of election returns. I'm not sure what's left, but just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I was very excited when Craig announced that the Forward Party would be hosting this party, because otherwise we're going to be in the back of this.
It's working.
Is it?
No. It was.
Is it now?
Yes.
We're going to be back on a small Italian restaurant in Bryn Mawr, and with everybody to Santuso. That was going to be where the party would be, but thank you. Such a beautiful place. We're only blocks away from where we started this adventure about 6 months ago. The Republican Party that was, the party that I had worked in and was the party of Governor Whitman had morphed into the party of Trump. And so it was no longer my party. And I thought, you know what? Sometimes when you put a dream on hold, it never happens. But sometimes there's second chances. And the Forward Party gave me that opportunity, and I'm very grateful to all of you.
We're grateful to you, Eric.
So my friend Craig Snyder, who, we and I have spent a lot of election nights together. This time I get to give the speech and you get to watch. And I joked that, Craig came to me about this. I said, this is actually one of your better ideas. So Craig, thank you for all your support, and congratulations on all the stuff that's happened to you over the last few months. A lot of recognition. Obviously, people know Craig is leading the Hailing voters for Harris, and so it's great. So Craig, congratulations.
Party registered, or they could be Forward Party affiliated Democrats or Republicans. The goal being to create a fulcrum in the legislature. And you would only need a few members, really, a handful of members, who insist on, number one, political reform, open primaries, ranked choice voting, and also who insist on real genuine compromise rather than, the hyper-partisan sumo wrestling between Republicans and Democrats.
My name's Ben Beaumont. I'm the secretary of the Pennsylvania Forward Party. I helped organize the signature efforts and helped organize our volunteers in Pennsylvania and help our candidates get on the ballot. As the secretary, I work very closely with Craig. As our political strategist, I have a meeting with him every couple of weeks, and we help plan the strategy of the Pennsylvania Forward Party going forward.
How you feeling? You, Dad. How you feeling?
Feeling tired. I'm feeling like I want this to be over, but it will be soon.
The party or the election?
Both.
Okay.
What?
She's leading in a couple places she's not supposed to be leading, and she's behind in Virginia where she's supposed to be ahead. So there's always some surprises. We'll see what happens. These small states were never in question. And Texas is a big state, but that was never in question.
I will definitely because whoever it was I was reading.
Okay, listen, I think we shot a lot of good stuff. I'm tired. I'm going to mingle a little. You guys should head on home, and then I'll follow you.
What do you think of this, the number of voters? Are you seeing the numbers larger than in 2020? And what are you seeing now?
Hey. How you feeling?
Exhausted. I'm going to bed. We're not going to know the results tonight. No state has been called so far that wasn't predicted to go the way it went. There's no new information. what we know now is entirely predictable, that we could have predicted it earlier today, we could have predicted it 2 weeks ago. The states that are going to decide this thing are not decided yet, so we don't know. And that's, we gotta wait. We're gonna count, we gotta wait. So,
Are you scared?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I love you. Thank you, Stevie, for everything today.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I have like 100 people I have to write to, Charlie. That's why I said 11 o'clock.
How do you feel?
I feel bad.
Okay, give me something more than that.
Look, this was always within the range of possibility. It was, people kept saying over and over that it was too close to call because you couldn't tell exactly which voters were going to show up. It's a very, very big country with very many people who have very different opinions.
I have absolutely no idea if I'm in focus, but it is the next day. It's 2:13 p.m. And this morning my dad sent out a text to a family group chat, and I wanted to read what he wrote. Sometimes election results are complicated and hard to understand. Now that we can see what has happened, this one really isn't. A real majority of non-college educated Americans across race and geography, and both men and women, chose Trump, knowing everything there is to know about him. The Democrats went too far left during the last 4 years for the decisive voters in the country and were held responsible by this majority for the reality that life for ordinary folks has gotten much less affordable under their rule. Some Trump voters are indeed deplorable, as there are deplorable Americans in the Democratic coalition too. But most Trump voters aren't bad people and aren't going to like much of what they have caused to happen. But you can't claim to be a champion of democracy and then be unwilling to accept the results of the will of the people. America needs a loyal opposition, whoever is in power, and Trump will obviously have to contend with us. It's a beautiful day outside and life goes on.